think it's fair for me to say that we all have had dealt with some sort of fear. It could have been a fear of spiders or insects, maybe a fear of crowds, of failure or being alone, of clowns or of heights, fear of change or rejection, fear of animals. I mean, the list really could go on. We can't be afraid of anything. I remember back in 2015 when I visited Ireland, and one of the best tours I took was to visit the cliffs of Moher. You know, these cliffs at their tallest height reached about 702 feet. And I remember standing there on top of the cliffs, close enough, but not too close to the edge. And I could see the waves of the ocean slapping against the rocks of the cliffs where they met. You know, the winds were blowing and they felt strong. And I remember being afraid that they could be strong enough to blow me off the edge if I got too close. I did not like that feeling. And I'm not particularly afraid of heights, but my heart began to beat just a little bit faster. And I became anxious and my body started to tense up. I felt like I was frozen in place. And I was worried, and the fear inside me began to overwhelm me. So I slowly began to take steps further away from the cliffs and to observe the grandeur of this scene from nature from a safer distance. You see, in life, we do the same thing. When things look uncertain or risky, we tend to step back. We observe from afar. We hold back when something is a risk because people are watching or listening, and it doesn't matter whether we succeed or fail. People have their own opinions, their own beliefs, and so we're afraid. Sometimes it hurts because we experience pain. But what if on the other side of that uncertainty of the unknown is good? What if you were to take that risk? That step towards that unknown. I'm not saying to jump off a cliff. We also need to exercise wisdom. But what if that step opens the door to what's next? What if taking that step opens the door to a blessing? What if this step opens the door to an opportunity beyond what you could have imagined? You know, there are seasons in life where God asks us to take a step, to take a risk with Him, even when we can't see what is ahead. Sometimes what we imagine is going to happen doesn't. Sometimes it takes longer to get there because we are not willing or we're afraid. You know, I've walked in seasons of uncertainty, like many. For me, it was like walking through the wilderness. Sometimes because I needed a season to rest, a season of restoration, and sometimes because I wasn't willing to take a risk and step out in faith. You know, I was comfortable where I was. I felt safe, and I was afraid to take that next step. You know, most of the time I knew I needed to take a step in my life to allow for healing, restoration, and growth, or to step into where God was leading me. I had to acknowledge where I was first, was not where I wanted to be, and it wasn't that easy. As I took a step towards these things to happen, things got harder, but a season in the waters is meant to refine you. I had work to do, and I had to learn to let go, to allow God to begin a healing deep within me, and I needed to trust Him. And I learned to draw closer to Him, not only in my deepest need, but also on the mountaintop. I learned to rest in His presence and to sit with Him and to hear His voice. You know, I'm still walking, sometimes slowly, sometimes hesitant, but I trust God. I trust the process, even when I can't see what's next. And I want to be a vessel. I want to be continually open to what God wants to do in and through me. Psalm 18:32 through 36 says this: "It is God who arms me with strength and makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like the feet of deer and sets me on my high places. He teaches my hands to make war so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze. You have also given me the shield of your salvation. Your right hand has held me up. Your gentleness has made me great. You enlarged my path under me, so my feet did not slip." So here's my question for you today. Are you ready to take that risk? Are you ready to take that next step? And trust God with whatever He has for you ahead. Blessings.